Okay, welcome my friends to the show that never ends, and here we are, and I promise it will end this week. I've looked at the time, and I'm going to keep my eyes on the time. Thought we'd start very quickly with the plus side of Wycombe Wanderers Plus, and that plus side is a band called Spearmint. Yes, you heard it, Spearmint, and the album's called Holland Park. They're a art rock band, and you're thinking, art rock? What the flip is art rock? Well, have a listen on any of your devices, be it Bandcamp, Spotify, or whatever. This album only came out this month, and they're one of the better art rock bands. Really, really enjoyable. They're not heavy, deep, meaningful. It's really light, good stuff. Have a listen, everybody. Kieran, on the plus side, what did you do on Wycombe Wanderers Plus side this week?
What do I get to
Alcohol.
Oh, yes, I get to advertise alcohol. We went
You're
to
a student, mate.
Of course, I know. I was literally on Spotify looking up an artist trying to think of I could suggest to people, but this is more ideal.
Yeah, I thought it might be.
So I went home this week to sort out my tooth, which was lovely. Just a quick little turnaround one day in Wycombe, but we still had time to go to the pub, and we went to the Chiltern Tap, in which they had a variety of ciders on there.
At 20.
Shout out to Will Mason. He will never watch this. He has no idea that this is a thing, but he was there. I went to primary school with him. And
he's got a job you haven't.
That's a bit harsh. I do go to uni. But what did I have? I had cherry cider, which I think was my favourite. The toffee apple one was good. There's another one that was good. I can't remember what I had. Rum cider, bit interesting. You liked it. I wasn't so much of a fan. But yeah, so go give it a go because it is worth.
Yeah, we had about 6 others, didn't we?
Yeah, we had quite a lot. So obviously we're rock hard, and so didn't get drunk.
That's right. And you were then hopping around on a train all the way home.
In London,
looking for the toilet. Yeah.
That's my one thing to not do. Don't get on the tube in London at 5 o'clock because that was not fun.
No.
Okay. But which it seems pretty self-explanatory, but evidently I didn't take my own advice. It was a bit stupid, wasn't it?
Okay. Well, let's move straight on. There's your Wycombe Wanderers Plus. We've had the plus. So now we get on with the football. The second thing to do then, of course, is it's Kierans quiz time. Okay. Woo! Kieran's quiz time. And we're back onto the European Cup 83-84 Liverpool.
Oh, I didn't revise this during
Did we do any of this?
No.
We didn't, right. Because I was going to start with question 6 because I thought we'd done the first 5, but obviously not. Okay, here you go then. Who did Liverpool beat 6-0 on Aggregate in the first round? Do you need...
Yes, I do. Yes, okay. I do.
That's a pain because it means I've got to try and pronounce them. Obviously, I won't pronounce them correctly. Odense.
We'll leave it
Olympiakos or Ammonia. Ammonia. That sounds like something you die of when you're older. No, it's pneumonia.
I swear it is a disease, though. Ammonia.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. I think Odense is as well. Odense.
It sounds like the first and third answers are kind of like random words they've just thrown in there to like.
But with an O.
Yeah.
I
mean, in that case, the only one I've heard of is Olympiakos, so I'll go with them.
Will you?
Yeah, I'm
That's
sure
it's a shame because it was Odense.
Was it?
Yeah.
Odense.
Yeah, Odense. I don't know. Right.
Udinese.
What?
Was it begin with a U?
No, it begins with an O.
Oh, I don't know then.
Who did Liverpool beat 1-0 on aggregate in the second round? Atletico Bilbao, Atletico Levante, Atletico Madrid.
I'm going to say Bilbao.
You're right. You got 1 out of 2. Okay. Question 3. Who did Liverpool beat 5-1 on aggregate in the third round? We're moving our way through. Benfica, Porto, or Sporting Lisbon? Think of the teams around in those days that were any good.
I was going to say, because I don't think one of them definitely wasn't about. I think Sporting may not have been about at that point, really. Maybe not Porto. I'm going to say Benfica.
You're correct, Benfica. Yeah, they were. Remember, they'd got through to the third round, so they were. So, who did Liverpool beat 3-1 on aggregate in the semis? Was it Dynamo Bucharest, Dynamo Minsk, Dynamo Zagreb?
Zagreb, yeah. It would have thrown me off if they put Dynamo Kiev in there. Must be Bucharest.
It is. It is. So you're doing all right, actually.
With 3 out of 4.
Got 3 out of 4, yeah. And last but not least this week on the Liverpool questions is, where was the final played? Madrid, Rome or Paris?
Oh, no. Because this is the one I obviously should know. We've won Champions League in all of them, which doesn't help. I don't think it's Madrid. I'm going to say Paris.
You're wrong. It was Rome.
Okay.
Well, not to worry. You got you're up there with what, 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Now I'm completely baffled as to where we are on this. I think we're going with, which club did striker James Beatty make the most appearances for in the Premier League?
He played for Leicester. He played for Everton. He played for Villa, I think. I'm going to say Leicester.
No, Southampton. So that's...
Oh, yeah.
So you still got 3. Which team did Chelsea sign Robin which team did Chelsea sign Robin from for 12.1 million?
PSV.
That is correct. Which club did Damien Duff make the most appearances for in the Premier League?
He played for Chelsea. He played for Fulham. He couldn't have been in the Chelsea team that much. Fulham.
You're correct. Fulham. Very good. Manchester. I don't know how many you got right. I hope you're keeping track.
I've got 3 wrong, I think.
Manchester United. Sorry. Oh dear. Manchester United signed a left back from Monaco that went on to make over 250 league appearances for them and win 5 Premier League titles. Can you name the player?
For who, sorry?
Manchester United. Left back from Monaco.
Patrice Evra.
That's correct. And your last question was, Arsenal signed Vieira for 3.5 million in August 96. Can you name the club that sold him to Arsenal?
I've only got one name in my head, and that's Nice.
That's a shame, because it was AC Milan.
AC Milan? Why was he there? Fair enough.
Well, there you go. I don't know how many you got right. I think it was 5. I don't know.
I think I got 4 wrong, so 6. We'll say.
You'll say 6.
I'll say 6. Yeah.
Okay.
So considering some of those, I'll take that.
Yeah. All right. I mean, you can make it 7 if you like.
I might as well. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll say 7.
We'll say 7.
7. Okay. And that's Kierans' quiz time.
It's clear to see from up here.
Okay.
By the way, did you ever say to that person what that song was called?
No.
That.
Oh,
Do you know what it's called? Yeah.
I forgot.
Just thought I'd mention it.
Sorry. Kieran will remind me to look it up next week.
Look,
Right. Or I could always put it in the details below.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll put it in the details below. I'm not quite sure which one he's talking about, but do you?
Wasn't it just the outro song to this? To the quiz time
the
thing?
Sad, the sort of folk one.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I'll have a look. Have a
look. Yeah.
Okay. Here's your a few interesting little things. We'll start with what happened on this day. Football on this day. Actually, it's not. I mean, as per normal, it's not on this day. This one, well, actually, it is the first one. On this day, on the 15th of November in 1969, Liverpool 2-0 victory over West Ham at Anfield was the first match to be transmitted in colour.
Yeah.
There you go. You see, bit of interesting info. At the time, colour TVs were still rare. So the commentators had to ensure that their commentaries were suitable for viewers with either colour or black and white sets. That caused problems for poor old John Motson, who made comments like, "For those of you watching in black and white, Spurs are in the yellow strip." Very helpful. Of course, I watched my first game in colour was round my grandparents watching the 1970 FA Cup final. And I remember because most of the village were there because they were the only ones to have a colour TV. And their living room was crammed with everybody to watch football in colour. How about that? See, I remember that.
What was the
game?
score?
It was Arsenal against somebody. I can't remember.
Did they win?
I believe so. Was it against Liverpool, wasn't it?
I don't know. 1970. I wasn't there, unfortunately.
No, you're not. Right. Well, I was only. Give me a break. I was only 8. I can't remember what happened last week, let alone when I was 8.
Apparently, or I don't know what you're on about. Apparently, it was between Chelsea and Leeds.
Oh, right. There you go. Well, it was difficult to tell because I'd never seen them in colour before. I didn't know who was who. See. Anyway. Getting nearer the date, on the 17th of November in 92, one of the early steps Vinnie Jones took on a path to becoming a film star was not a successful one. He brought out a video, Soccer's Hard Men, which the Football Association considered a glorification of violence in the game. He was charged by the FA for bringing the game into disrepute, and on this day in 92 was found guilty and fined £20,000, and he received a 6-month playing ban, which was suspended for 3 years. A bit nasty, wasn't it?
It was quite harsh, actually.
Yeah, I thought that was, yeah. And last but not least, 17th of November 93, this is appropriate, who are England playing?
San Marino.
That's what I thought. A new low for England in their final qualifying match for the 94 World Cup finals. England needed to thump San Marino to have any chance of qualifying. Instead, after just 8 seconds, they were 1-0 down. Okay, England won 7-1. Watched by a massive crowd of 2,000 people. Cool. But they failed to qualify for the finals, finishing 3rd in the group behind Norway and Netherlands. And within a week, Graham Taylor had resigned as manager. Isn't that amazing? A manager resigning. Wasn't sacked. I mean, how was he not sacked, for goodness sake? I mean, who gave him the time to resign?
Well, isn't it easier for a club if he resigns or something? Because they don't have to pay him as much or something ridiculous like that.
Well, it was England. I mean, you wouldn't have to pay him anyway, would you?
To be fair, when we got knocked out straight away in the 2014 World Cup, Hodgson got stayed in his job. And I mean, that turned out really well, didn't it? So
yeah, absolutely. And just on this sort of a couple of funny little pointers, I love these sort of little one-liners from people. And this one's about goals. We haven't scored, which means we haven't got a chance of winning, says Bobby Robson.
nice one, mate. Well done.
The best thing for them to do, that's Ireland, is to stay at 0-0 until they score the goal.
Right. Yeah.
Alan Shearer, England, that's us, haven't been scoring goals, but football's not just about scoring goals, it's about winning. And
that's not so bad.
Another one by Bobby Robson is the first. I always used to think he was half intelligent. The first 90 minutes of the match are the most important.
Nice. Yeah, I love it.
And there's the Tony Cottee, Aston Villa guy, and then talking of Aston Villa, that'll be coming up. And that was, if Villa gets another goal now, it would change the scoreline completely. and I have to finish with the last one, which I really love. David Beckham. No matter who our opponents are or who we are playing against, we want to win the game. So it doesn't matter who we're playing against or who our opponents are, okay?
He wants to win the game.
He does, whatever. Doesn't matter who we're playing. Liverpool would think we could have won this 2-2, says Ron Atkinson. They're great, aren't they? So we'll might come up with a couple of others sometime, I think. I
reckon we should do ones based on what we've said. We must have said some stupid things in these as well.
Not me.
People have just thought. You don't reckon?
No, you could put a whole string together of me mispronouncing names.
Oh yeah,
and teams. You could probably do an hour and a half show just based on that.
It'd be a big compilation, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And there was Wickham, of course, will be playing Hartlepool again in the. Is this just turned? Oh no, Wickham will be playing Hartlepool again in the replay. But just to say, in the first. So this was a week last Saturday. Buxton, who are in the Northern Premier League, this was a week last Saturday, okay, were playing York in the National League North. So that's way down there in the FA Cup. And on the eve of the game, this was Buxton had never reached this stage for 60 years. This was a first off for 60 years. They never got to this round. Their manager got fired on the eve of the game. And the reason for it was he was going on holiday. He went on holiday and missed the game. And when they asked him why was he going on holiday and wasn't going to be there for the game, it was, well, I booked this holiday ages ago and we haven't been on holiday for a while and my family comes first. But good luck to the team anyway. And so they sacked him. And guess what? Buxton went and won. And so for the first time ever, they're going to be in the second round and he'd left or could have been sacked. I think that's brilliant. I mean, can you imagine managers anywhere in the Football League sort of, sorry, can't make that game, guys. I'm going on holiday. I think it's brilliant.
Do you reckon he would have wanted them to win or not? I don't know. Because if you're the manager who's just been sacked, you kind of have a bit of a grudge against them. But it's the first time that team's made it to the first round of the FA Cup. It'd be a bit peak if he's just like, I really want them to lose.
They won 1-0. Just to say, they did win 1-0. So I thought that was brilliant. I did. I loved that. Now, I've got a problem because I've just lost a piece of paper with all the information on it. Where is it?
Information about what?
Help. I wanted to clear one thing up while he's searching for what... Oh, here it is, I think. Oh, don't say I've gone and thrown it away.
What's it about?
Well, it's got all the details of what we were going to be doing on this. What I'd written out. I wanted to explain. I haven't got it. I don't know where it is. I wanted to explain why and how they mark the back, why players don't mark the back posts anymore. Because you're still hearing the Wallies on TV saying, now that wouldn't have gone in if he'd marked the back post. Don't you?
Mm.
They still say it on Match of the Day. And I wanted to explain why they don't mark the back post and how it works in today's systems. Kieran, can you answer that? Or do you know how it all works nowadays? I've lost the paper.
You can pause the video if you want.
Sorry?
Don't want to pause the video and try and find it? You can't just cut it out,
everybody. Right. Oh. Right, we'll give it a go anyway. Why don't players mark the back posts? And now you hear them all say Rio Ferdinand, you hear Alan Shearer, all of them may now, if they'd put a player on the back post, the worst one, I can't remember his name, he played for Liverpool.
Michael Owen.
No, the other one. You always say that first.
Danny Murphy.
Danny Murphy, who has to be the most outdated footballer who doesn't understand about the modern game. I think he doesn't get that the ball is light nowadays and not made of pig skin or something, pig bladder. I mean, the bloke is so out of date. How they allow him near a TV? He probably. Well, I don't know. He's probably still got a black and white TV, I reckon. There's reasons that football has changed and the game has changed. I want to explain a little bit. What's the matter with you?
Nothing, fella. Sorry.
When you
played, an awkward angle.
When you played on a Sunday morning for your team, you used to put players on the back post and on the front post, didn't you?
Did indeed.
Yeah. Why don't they? Well, it works like this. You can have one of two setups. You can have zonal or semi-zonal marking, or you have man for man marking. They tend to be the choices. Problem is, either way, you run out of players. Because if you have a player on the front and a player on the back and do man for man marking, you ain't got enough. So you can't do man for man marking and have a player on the front and back post, because that means the central area where most goals are scored is going to be lacking defenders. So that is out. The next is zonal marking. You can sort of defend those posts because it depends on whether you do 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 zonal markings. Depends. Then people can start, the higher you can start having players who have an area around those posts. The problem with having a player on the post is quite often nowadays you have man markers and you have lines, and you'll have the zonal markers in a line or whatever, and there'll be 2 or 3 lines. So the line defending the goal in zonal, and then you have the players ready for the rush of players coming in who will get on their man. Okay. If you had players on the posts when that happens and the ball comes out there, which often happens at corners, doesn't it? A lot of corners get headed away and you have a rush of players coming in. Your players need to rush out for offside reasons. If you have players on the line, on the posts, then forget offside. Every time the ball goes back into that area, there is no such thing as offside. You've got two people standing on a line. And they've worked out, actually, that when you have players on the posts, 2.7% of corners end up as goals. When you don't have players on the posts, it's 2.1%. So you are far better not having players on the posts. The best way to do it is zonal marking, because you can then cover a bigger area, but you're covering the posts. The only problem with zonal marking is it's a lot more skillful.
Yeah,
it's easy for a smaller team just to do man to man. You're on him, and you're on him. That's far easier. It takes a lot of training to do zonal marking. Wickham, go on. Sorry, you say what you think.
No, I think it does make sense, because I can't imagine the percentage. Well, as you just said, the percentage of goals it actually makes as a difference by having people on the post or people not on the post is very little. And I can't imagine that many headers actually go into the corners to make it worth. So I mean, as you said, it's not entirely worth. If you really do want to have someone on the post, because you always have that man at the front. I mean, if the ball goes over his head, they can always just sprint to the post, try and get there. I would have thought, not that I'm a manager, but
Wickham do a 2-zone marking, so they only have one person in that area and one person in that area. Then the rest of the players are taking up the players, so it's a mix. But it means that they can run out when needed. They're not marking the posts. They're marking an area and can step out of that area. And that's what Wickham do. Liverpool, on the other hand, do a 6-zone marking area. And if you look at a lineup when Liverpool are defending corners, they'll have 6 men standing in their positions and all the others with their eyes on the players coming in, ready to run to those players. And this is why when you watch TV and the ball goes in the net and you think, well, why didn't he move? Why didn't he move? Why didn't he move? It's because he's not meant to move out of his zone. He's in his zone. You can't blame all of them. It means one of them failed, not all of them. Because 6 were in their right zones, but one of those didn't defend his zone. But 5 did.
I imagine the people on the edge are trying to effectively block those people off as well.
Yeah, you have what you call man markers, deep runners, the deep runner markers. So when the players rushing in, they've got their eye ready for them. They're not marking their zones. They're standing slightly in front of the 6 zonal markers, or 2 or whoever, and they'll stand just in front of them and they'll watch who comes in and they've got their man. But the others stand still in their zones. But what you don't do is you don't put people on the front post and on the back post, because then they're just out of the game.
Yeah.
And it means you'll have 2 less players to mark anybody in the central box. And so I just wanted to clear that up, because I get fed up listening, because they said it again last week on Match of the Day about, if they'd had somebody on the back post. I'm sorry.
Well, this is why they're not managers, isn't it? I suppose so.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Danny Murphy, but that went out about 10 years ago, to be honest, other than in a Sunday morning football team. And the next thing that teams do is man mark, and that's because it's easy and you don't have to train anybody to do it very well. If Wycombe can do that properly, they can defend corners properly, but it's not easy. And if they can't do it very well, they should go back to man marking. Right, that's cleared that up. Okay. Good. I wanted to sort that out.
Yeah.
Okay. And now on to Wycombe Wanderers versus
Portsmouth. I wasn't even there, and even I'm pretty faffed up about it.
Where to start? Okay, Wycombe, League One. We're staying in League One. Okay, yeah. I think that game showed we're a League One team. In all honesty, I thought we weren't great. We weren't bad. We were unlucky. There were a couple of, the penalty. Okay, let's clear this up. Number one, they should have had a penalty. How they didn't get a penalty in the first half, I do not know. It happened right in front of me. I mean, the guy went over and the referee just ran away. That surprised me. I thought we were a bit lucky to get away with that. Wycombe's, I think, was a penalty. A shame Jacobson didn't kick it like it was a penalty rather than pass it back to the goalkeeper.
I do have something to say, actually, about Jacobson's penalties, because it's become far too noticeable, even for people who, don't analyse all of his penalties and what he does. Even I've noticed he never ever does put it to the right, to his right, the keeper's left. He either puts it to the keeper's right or down the middle. If it's typically a bit of more of a pressure penalty, he will put it down the middle. And like in that one, he did exactly that. And so he was going to get caught out one day, and happened to be yesterday. It's not to say that he's a bad penalty taker. Of course he's not. But
I wonder if it makes a difference what the crowd are like. Maybe. I wonder if he decides before the game what he's going to do.
Well, people do have different methods of doing that, don't they? I think Lampard said he did it just before he went up to take it. Gerrard said he did it before the game.
Because I think you'd be better off doing that, because that crowd were, as the word in football is, hostile. I think that's a fair comment when talking about Portsmouth. Like, are any of them educated, Kieran?
How do I say this without sounding rude? Not many. I probably shouldn't say that. But did you see the videos of the Portsmouth fans in Wycombe Town Centre?
Yes.
It's fun.
They're yobs, mate. There is no question. They're quantity of police. Why? What is wrong with them?
I don't know. I'm not surprised, though, to be honest with you.
If we ever lived or moved anywhere near that place, I couldn't support Portsmouth. I couldn't. That'd be embarrassing. I like going to watch football. It's nice, friendly, happy. What must they do when they lose? Would they put bricks through windows?
Probably.
When we drove out the drive to get out, and we're going down the road, 4 of them were just walking down the middle of the bloody road. And all the cars were queued behind 4 kids walking down the middle of the road. And eventually...
What? In Hazelmere?
No. This is getting out of Wycombe Wanderers ground.
Oh, right, yeah.
And as we were going, we couldn't, and the whole sort of 6,000 cars couldn't get down because 4 of them thought it was funny to walk down the road in the middle. So no traffic could move. And when they got off the bloody path,
I'll tell you,
dreadful.
I mean, Portsmouth kids are built different. You have to say that. It's surprising if you go a week without some Portsmouth kid just swearing at you for some random reason. This isn't me disliking Portsmouth people. I like Portsmouth. I lived in Portsmouth for 3 years. But some people are interesting, to say the least, and the kids are interesting, to say the least. You'd have a whale of a time if you were a youth worker down there.
No, but the game. What happened? Mehmeti was on the pitch. We've been going on about that for ages. Did it make a difference? No.
Won a penalty,
but he didn't make any difference. You didn't feel? I wonder whether when me and Paul discussed it, we wondered whether he's just not a Division 1 footballer.
It probably doesn't suit him particularly well, does it?
Space. He wants space to run in, a bit more talent on the ground rather than jumping at balls that aren't quite accurate.
I mean, you could argue that is very true, and it probably is to an extent true. I think it is arguably too early to kind of judge that sort of thing, because obviously he has only just come back into the team. But in saying that, football is a place in which you don't get a lot of time.
No.
To either prove yourself or start winning games.
He tried a couple of runs to be a fat superstar that just came to an end.
I mean, he's got to give that sort of thing a go, because, I mean, he could pass it off to someone and the pass just doesn't come off. And it's the same situation in which you just lose the ball. So you might as well have a go at running at people.
I thought that game was 1-1. That's what it should have been. It should have been a draw. I didn't think Portsmouth were very good, and I didn't think Wycombe were very good.
I think, though, in terms of kind of symbolising where our season's going to go, though, is definitely not a good result. The last few weeks have not been good, have they?
Well, we haven't won anything.
Is it almost the impression that kind of that fighting kind of spark that kind of associate with Wycombe has kind of gone a little bit?
McCleary's gone.
Yep, and arguably our best player this season. Probably is our best player this season.
I don't know when he's back, but we never know from Wycombe, do we?
We never know.
I mean, he did his shoulder, wasn't it? Dislocated his shoulder.
Something like that, yeah. That, I mean, probably take a while, wouldn't it?
6 weeks. At least.
Yeah. To stand a chance of doing anything this season, we need to have a very strong Christmas. And if we don't, then I mean, it's fine. I mean, maybe we've put too much pressure on kind of expecting Wycombe to get promoted this season, because we obviously never done that before.
Well, I've changed my mind. I think it's going to be top half, and I've got to be happy with that. And I have to say this, and I don't know what. I bet other people totally disagree with me, but I thought, what's his name, Beatty?
Yeah.
Thought he wasn't good. He had a lot of the ball, which makes you think, oh, he had a good game, but his crosses were shocking. I mean, they were shocking. We've got the guys up there to stick the ball in the net from their head, and no, they never did one come in for them to stick the ball in the net with their head. They just never travelled up, above the ground. I mean, they were knocking them in about 3 foot above, but no decent balls. And
I mean, the highlights kind of showed that McCarthy was doing all right. He was involved in a lot of the kind of close-cut chances. However,
he missed everything.
Arguably, yeah, he hit the post, which I think you put under unlucky as opposed to he missed everything. But in saying that, I don't think he's going to be a championship footballer and get us up to the championship. I do quite like him. I think he is one of those who, as much as you can say this in football, he does always put 100% in. He always is trying to do the right thing. Whether it comes off or not is a different question. So I do like him, but I'm not sure he's a player that's going to get us to the championship.
He got man of the match, and everybody standing around me said, how did he get that? Because as far as the people standing around me thought was he never took his chances. Like he leant back and the ball went 10 foot above the goal. And, he hit the post once, but you got to put one of them in. But it was frustrating. The game was frustrating, I can safely say. And in the end, Ainsworth picked 3 players to go up front, all with skilled heading qualities. And so it got all of them. It got Wheeler and it got all of them up the front ready there. But the balls didn't come in for them.
Wheeler missed a sitter as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Towards the end. I think a few of them actually within that.
But the balls never came in for head height. Balls did not come in the box for them.
No.
And that is your wingers.
Probably the downside to playing wing backs is that your fullbacks typically aren't as good as crossers, and they're the ones who are on the wings for us, unfortunately.
No. But anyway, so Portsmouth, well, who cares? Oxford didn't win, which was a good result. And we've got to mention England, of course. Well, Harry Kane scored a hat trick.
To be fair to me, it was a good hat trick as well.
He's back.
He was like, oh, wait, Spurs got a good manager. Maybe I've got to start playing again.
Yeah, maybe he'll be left out. Please explain to me. I've got one question, and you can say all you like about England, but I have got one main question. Yeah. Why does Southgate travel the country between England games, going to watch all of these games and all of these players, and on the pitch, you've got somebody who's had probably his worst season ever, and somebody who doesn't play any games for Manchester City anymore? Whereas all the players that have been playing really well for their clubs are sat on the bench. What chance does that give? What's the point of him going to watch? I don't get it. Is it just so he can get a free ticket?
I do think him actually going to games means very little.
It means nothing.
I think it's the thing that he just has to go around to all the different clubs in England at some point.
Do you think Kane should have been allowed to play with his form?
It's more of a captaincy thing, isn't it? You go through and support your captain during a tough period in which he is having. Whether he should have started, I think is a completely different question. Obviously not. So, yeah. I mean, he did repay his faith in it. I mean, he did score a hat trick.
And I will say his third goal was excellent. All right.
I thought his second one was very good as well.
So I'm not criticising his performance. Yeah. I mean, he can't do any more. I mean, he can't help it with playing a shit team, can he? I mean, that's not his fault.
No.
I mean, he can't do them better so he can score a hat trick. But I just question if it makes no difference whether you're playing well or badly that you're going to get picked, or whether you're playing at all and you're going to get picked.
It's for people
Why bother trying?
It's for people like Calvert-Lewin or Danny Ings. It's like, what more do I have to show to play in this team?
Well, Ings is never going to get played, is he? He ain't got hope.
Who was actually in the squad? I think because Calvert-Lewin might have been injured, mightn't he? Actually, let me look up the squads because I mean, have you seen who England have got injured as well? Flipping Henderson's been injured.
Right, there's been quite a few that aren't playing, aren't there?
Sterling got injured. There's someone else. It might have been Grealish or something.
There's a lot out.
Hmm.
Um,
It's Tammy Abraham. And that is it for strikers. It's Tammy Abraham and Kane. That is it. The other forwards are wingers.
Okay.
So it does make you wonder. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Do we want to say any more about England? Not
Why
really.
do you?
No.
Good luck against San Marino. I'm not sure you'll need it. I could beat San Marino by myself.
Okay. I have two other things. We're going to talk about one or the other. Do you want to discuss? Is much to say about Gerrard?
I should probably mention it.
Mention it.
Yeah.
Gerrard.
Surprised he went at this point, considering a couple of weeks ago he said, "Do I look settled?" implying that he was very settled, and now he's gone to Villa. But unfortunately, Villa was the one team in the Premier League he could actually go to. Because any team kind of above that is a direct Liverpool rival, and he's not going to do that. Anyone below that is within a chance of getting relegated, and they're not really a team that is safe in terms of trying to get up the league. So Villa is the perfect team for him.
Yeah, it'd be a Villa, Southampton, that sort of level team, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shame it had to come halfway through a season, but I think that kind of shows he had to go to the Premier League at some point, of course. But it kind of shows how crap the Scottish League is if a manager is that willingly going to leave probably the best club up there. So yeah, it's more of a thing. Like I don't know what the reaction for Rangers fans has been, because I can't imagine they'd be too happy if your manager just leaves halfway through to go to a somewhat mediocre Premier League team. But Aston Villa, unfortunately,
Parker hasn't got a job, has he?
Have you seen who's going to Norwich, actually? The Aston Villa manager.
Yes, Dean, what's it?
Dean Smith, yeah. I thought that was quite funny.
Yeah,
the merry-go-round
continues. Up on the roundabout. Yeah. And it's Farker that doesn't get the job, isn't it? They've all opt off and opt on, except he's been left off.
Yeah. Well, where's he going to go to, like, honestly? Who's he proved himself to that he's going to get another job? He's done all right in the Championship. He'll probably get a Championship team. But
I was going to say, how's Shrewsbury getting on? Yeah, Portsmouth will be after somebody again soon.
Do you reckon?
They're always after somebody when they don't go up.
Well, that's true.
They're never happy, are they? Because they think they're brilliant. Don't
like Portsmouth, do you? Not a fan.
I'm annoyed now.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Okay. And got to mention here, we did mention my dad playing England last week when he was in the army. Got an update on that to get it dead accurate. Thank you for that, Kieran.
I'm sorry.
Dead accurate. He played the England under-23s, which included Bobby Charlton. I also said Bobby Robson. Bobby Charlton, Jackie Charlton, and I believe Bobby Moore was in the team. I think. And it was 22-1. So they did actually get a goal, the Army, against the England under-23s. And, of course, after that was the Munich air crash after this just after this game. So some of those players that he played were on that plane, I believe. Munich air crash, is that right? Yeah. So some of those players were on that plane. I think it was that Busby Babes and all that. Yeah. Okay. And we're going to finish very soon. And we're going to finish with, I want you to name, Kieran, I've got a load of names here. I want you to put a team together of players in the Premier League who have never won the title.
Oh.
I can help you.
I can name your captain.
Yeah. I can help you with this. I mean, so I can give you a couple of sort of names to.
Are we going for like the absolute best, or are we going for like those who have been in the Premier League for a long time?
Well, whatever. I mean, I'll give you, goalkeepers. You can discuss goalkeepers. We've got Brad Friedel.
Yeah.
Remember him? Yeah. Peter Schmeichel.
Peter Schmeichel definitely won the league.
Yeah, he won at least one Premier title, but there have been enough. Yeah, he did. Yeah, you've got Nigel Martin with Leeds and Everton. You've got
David James.
I don't know. Lloris, of course, at Tottenham. He's never won a title. What do you reckon? Which one should we pick out of them?
I always liked Friedel, to be honest with you. I quite like. I think, I'm not sure whether he may have won one. I was going to say Shay Given as well, but he may have won one with Man City.
No, Friedel didn't. He 450 Premier League appearances with Liverpool, Blackburn, Aston Villa, and Tottenham.
I'll say Friedel. I feel as if he was always kind of an underrated goalkeeper. In terms of shot stopper, he was always very good, wasn't he? He may not have been good with his feet or whatever, but yeah.
Okay, a lot of these players are Liverpool players, of course.
Right
back. Right back. Oh dear, I've got Reece James at the moment has never.
Right.
But I sort of looking up a few, and I've got Rob Jones, which of course, although again he was Liverpool, wasn't he? Any others knocking around in the Premier League at the moment or in the past?
I was going to say Seamus Coleman for Everton.
Right.
Oh, he's always been very good for Everton. Been there a long time. And similarly for left back, I would have said maybe Leighton Baines for Everton as well. He could be up there. Bale's never won it.
Yeah. He's not a right back though. I haven't got to him yet.
No. But I don't know whether does he count as a winger? Because he did play for left.
I haven't got to him. I'll mention him in a minute.
All right.
Jumping in front. Let me just give you a bit of history on Rob Jones, though. I've looked this up. 155 Premier League appearances for Liverpool. He's played for Liverpool 48 hours after signing from Crewe Alexandra in 91. And he had to mark Ryan Giggs at Old Trafford. There you go. And he won man of the match.
Nice. There you go.
That's from Liverpool. Old Trafford didn't vote him in, obviously.
Yeah.
So who we going to get? Who do you reckon you'd go for then?
I mean, the only other one I can think of is Coleman, so I'll go Coleman.
Right.
I'm thinking about the players in other positions as well. I'm thinking of a lot of Liverpool.
Well, a lot of these actually are because Liverpool were one of the best but never won it.
Yeah. So the likelihood is they will be up there. I'm trying to think of others though.
A left back had to. I mean, I thought there was really only one left back you can use, and it's not Luke Shaw. Certainly not at the moment. It's not Luke Shaw, and that is Stuart Pierce.
Yeah,
never won a Premier League title.
No, I can back that.
That's
very
sad, isn't
understandable.
it? Don't you think that's sad?
Mm.
Poor Stuart Pierce. And of course, you had Baines as well.
Yeah.
He never won it.
I thought Baines was always very good. In terms of attacking fullbacks, earlier on, he was always up there.
Then, of course, centre backs, you've got Carragher.
I was going to say Carragher and Huppier.
Yeah, and
they are my two.
What? Marcel Desailly, Chelsea.
Oh, Desailly, yeah.
Yeah, Desailly. He never won. Never won. Of Silva.
Thiago Silva, yeah. He probably will win at some point.
And the other name down here is Maguire.
Of course it is.
Maguire. Can I just go on?
No, Keane's been accused of bullying.
I know. I think that's brilliant. I have to be honest. Okay, I get what Maguire did. I mean, it must be annoying listening to those morons on TV criticising as they do.
Yeah.
Like we do, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact, I mean, we have an advantage. No bugger listens to this anyway, do they?
Not really.
But I think you've got every right as a punter to criticise somebody's football.
Yeah.
But didn't he make some comment about he's got no character or something? Didn't he make a comment about...
Yeah, it was an interview that Maguire did, and he said he's not showing off any character or anything like that.
And so that's where it starts to get personal a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we do. I mean,
the thing with Keane is a big fan of like personalities in the dressing room kind of thing. He always mentions it as to why United aren't so good now. It's because there's no personality in the dressing room, which gets a bit difficult because you're then having to go at people themselves, and that's not
his job, is it?
No, you can criticize the football, you can't criticize a person's personality.
Yeah, I mean, that is why he's on TV. He's not on there to judge people. I mean, we can take that. Are we allowed to take the mickey? We have to be a bit careful.
Yeah,
I suppose. And I need to slap myself sometimes. I think so. I will watch it, really.
We can't be like... We can't have a go at someone just as who they are, because it's like anyone could have a go at us and say, "Oh, Kieran's personality is really flipping annoying." It's almost like what Keane is saying about Maguire's.
Yeah,
it's just. I mean,
the truth is, he doesn't need to pick on his personality because he's playing awful.
Yeah, you can just pick on the football, and that'll be fine.
Right to say that.
Yeah.
Because he's a punter and that's what he's on there to do. He can say he's not playing very well, but he has to be able to back it up.
Yeah, and just saying that it's because he has no personality, you can't say that.
He can't do that. No, not on TV. You can't do that. No.
I mean,
and he is a bully, but the fact is that's why they employ him.
And that's why he won titles with United, to an extent, maybe.
Because he is a bully.
Yeah.
That is what he is. Okay. Moving on then. We wouldn't put Maguire in our team. No.
I would say Carragher and Desailly.
80 million. Well, in midfield then, we've got Gerrard.
Yeah.
We've got Alonso.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
How many are we going to pick? 4, 1, 2, 3.
Should we go 3?
3. We got Jorginho, Fernandes, Grealish.
We can't pick any. We can't pick anyone from now.
Zola.
Yeah, I'd go Zola more. Yeah, I think
Pogba?
no. I think we've got to pick players from the past as to those who have never won it.
Mascherano? Poyet?
Oh, you could say a lot of
Rue Gullit? Gullit?
Özil.
Gullit?
Yeah, Gullit. Özil.
I mean, I'd have to pick Zola as one.
Yeah.
I'd have to, and Steven Gerrard has to.
Gerrard, Zola, maybe Alonso, just because of what he went on to do. No, I want to pick players who are from like the past as opposed to current ones. I reckon.
Okay.
Does Letizier's a striker, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't count. Or maybe Huller even instead of Alonso.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I tell you what, the front three is going to be tough to pick.
Well, I was going to say, well, Zola could be a forward rather than a midfield.
Yeah.
Really?
But then I don't know whether Zola gets in front of some of the names I'm looking at. Shall I go through some of the names I've got here for forwards? I know you've got some as well, but I've got Fowler, Letizier, Zola, if counting him, Suarez, David Ginola, Bale, of course, Fernando Torres, Les Ferdinand.
Any Arsenals didn't win it?
Sanchez? Maybe?
Henry won it, didn't he?
Henry won it. Yeah.
Difficult, isn't it?
Robbie Keane. Gascoigne had 4 seasons in the Premier League. There's a lot.
Yeah. Ibrahimovic. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Well, Kane. You have to put Kane on there as well, I'm afraid.
Kane. Yeah,
Son, you have to put it. I mean, midfield, I don't know.
Should put
I mean,
Werner
it's
in there
right.
as well.
You have to put Kane has to be on there. He has won that. I mean, he's won the Golden Boot with a crap team. You know.
Werner?
Oh no.
Are we going the best?
Lukaku. He's never won it.
Did he not?
No.
Are we going to go for the best or those who have been in the Premier League a long time?
Go for both then. Just say both and then we'll pack up.
I think one has to be Fowler, considering how many he scored and he was in the Premier League a long time. Bale, based on what he went on to do with Real Madrid. And Suarez wasn't there long enough. And Torres was crap for half of it.
Suarez, surely.
Might be Suarez. I have a bit of a soft spot for Robbie Keane, actually. I don't know whether I'd put him in. It might be Suarez. Goodness sake. Yeah, we'll Suarez.
Yeah, the chewer. Right.
He would have won it if he wasn't banned for the first 8 games of that season.
Maybe we want to pick our favourite 11. Next, look them up, the oldies, for who did win it. Put your team together for who did win it for next week, Kieran. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll also have loads of other stories about how Wycombe's comeback smacked Hartlepool 12-0, and of course we'll have that dreadful scoreline for those horrible team. Who we playing? I can't remember. I can't. We're Burton. No, we're not playing Burton. Bolton. Now here's an interesting one about Wycombe playing at Bolton. Again, we're at home, so that's come on, Wickham. But Bolton, you know, if you look at all the statistics and play with the statistic machine, come up with expected goals for, expected goals against in each game, where they played the ball and passes, like up the front, in the front third, you don't worry about the rest of the pitch, and you start juggling all this stuff around, you will see that Wickham actually are 4th in the league.
Oh dear.
And we are 4th in the league, so we're in our rightful place. Okay, the top 2 would swap positions, but this team we're playing actually would be a lot higher up. In other words, they're playing a lot better than their points suggest. It is not as easy as you might think. I think they come 3rd in that league after the 11 games, if you put all the things together. Most teams are roughly in their right place, but this is one team that actually you would put the unlucky sticker next to. So I think Wickham are going to have to watch it. And with that, Kieran, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And I'll say goodbye. Good luck, England, for tomorrow night. Good luck, Wickham, on Tuesday and Saturday, and whoever Liverpool are playing, etc. And Solskjaer will be because we didn't discuss all the managers that got sacked this week. That's because there weren't any. So we'll be discussing Solskjaer next week. Okay. With that, we say goodbye.